What's going on? Long time no see. And I hope you're seeing me not with your physical eyes, but through some other means that is not of this world. I just tried to sound extra depthical, but depthicality is it's the brand around here. This is Achad. How are you? Alex One. How are you? Alex Will 64. How are you? We are back at it. So now, with no further ado, I don't want to give a long introduction because you know who I am. You know how I do things. I'm a kernel worker, sir. I'm a kernel worker, ma'am. So let's get to it. This what you see on the screen here. Let me switch up my layout. So this is my gift to you today. I've already posted this in the community part where you can put up a post or whatever. Some of you may have already seen this. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably already seen this post. So AlexWill64. And by the way, AlexWill64 page on Instagram is going to be, we're going to put it to sleep for now. So what you can do is check out holography. That's my new page for that. So let me put that on the screen here. Let me put that on the screen. Hold on 1 second. So how your mom them doing, your dad and them, what I'm saying, how they doing? What I'm saying? This post-COVID new normal thing going on. What I'm saying? How they doing today? Tonight. How you doing? How's your magic, spirituality, your esoteric occult practices? What I'm saying? How's that? Because today we're going to get into how to really look at and have a perspective about how things are happening to you in your life. Hold on, let me put this on the screen here. Okay. So yeah, that's where we're gonna put. I may have to. I'll just hold on. What I can do is also. Well, like I said, if you're seeing this after I do this live for this video, then you'll know. It'll also be in the description section for this video. So let me just take that off for a moment. I may put it as a banner as well. But let's get into my gift to you. Now, this is my gift. Free of charge. You don't have to pay for it. You will find this in my book. So this is the precise science of event patterning in life. A summary of topics in my book that explains why your life, my life, his life, her life, their life, or lives, you know what I'm saying, is the way that it is, and why things happen the way that they do in it, in those lives, right? This knowledge will advance and empower you, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee it. Because there's a lot of gobbledygook around these parts, these conscious community, occult community, spiritual community. It's a lot of gobbledygook. You know what I'm saying? A lot of made up stuff, which I'm not really upset about. You know how I always say, hey, everything is made up. You know what I'm saying? Stay woke or whatever. Everything is made up. But things can be made up and also be inaccurate. So it's not about right and wrong so much. It's more about the accuracy. The accuracy is off. So I'm here to put the accuracy back in line, as in alignment. I've been talking about alignment these past several years, explaining a lot of stuff. So this is a precise science. So this is why I said accuracy, because precision and accuracy are damn near synonyms at this point. They have the same meaning. So this is a precise science. I don't care what your religion is, your philosophy is, your approach to your magic, your spirituality, your esoteric study. This is going to sum it all up. Hence the term summary. You know what I mean? Right there. So let's begin. So precise science. Why does anything actually happen? Can you really answer that question? Now, imagine if you're a Christian, you'll say because of God. If you're a Muslim, because of Allah. If you're a Buddhist, I guess you would just say because of Buddha, or whatever the higher being is in that religion, right? And it goes for any other religion or any other philosophy, right? Why does anything actually happen? And then even more so, why does anything actually happen to you in particular? So this is a precise science on why things happen to you. Yo ass. Yo ass. Why does it happen? And we're talking your highest highs, your lowest lows, your brightest brightness, and your darkest darkness. Where the pain was high and the pleasure was high. You know, these fluctuations, these cycles, revolutions, keep up with me. One day you're up, next day you're down. Some days you're in the middle, right there in between. You know what I'm saying? But why? Why can't your life be full of sunshine, butterflies, rainbows, long walks on the beach, across the meadow? Why all this other bullshit is in your life? Why? Why? For what? What reason? What precise science you can apply to figure that out? Well, my guy, this is, or my gal, you know what I'm saying? We don't discriminate. This is where it's at. This is my gift to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like Kabbalah. You know, in Hebrew, Kabbalah means something given or it's a gift. So this is my Kabbalah to you. So first and foremost, I love dealing with things that are first and foremost, things that are at the beginning. I'm a kernel worker, my fam. I'm a kernel worker. We start at the beginning. First and foremost, know thyself. Nafi Sotan, if I'm saying that correctly, if I'm pronouncing that, which is, is that? Hold on. I forgot which one is Greek and Latin. I think this one is Greek, the Nafi Sotan, and then Timid Noske, which is Greek. You know what I'm saying? So, no, it's Latin. My bad. So Greek and Latin. There you go. So all three of these is know thyself. That's what it basically means. So we got to get into this argument right here. We got to get into this argument. This right here, free will and determinism. There's always this philosophical argument of free will versus determinism. You know what I'm saying? You even see it right here where it says, can you see my mouse? I'm pointing it out right here. Free will, which is the illusion, according to this diagram, and then versus it could be free will as in disillusionism. You know what I'm saying? Or someone can sit here and say, what's another thing? I'm just pulling out random stuff. Like this YouTube video that'll say that free will is an illusion. So they fully believe in determinism. But is it so far-fetched to say that this whole existence is both free will and determinism? They're both. And I'm going to show you how with this this writing that I have here, this text. So let's start with self-determinism, because now this concept of self-determinism combines your free will with your determinism. Instead of looking at one or going with one or the other, now you get to combine them, because now we're dealing with the principle of what? Polarity. They're extremes of the same thing. So one pole you have your free will, your other pole you have your determinism. We're here to deal also with the rule of paradox, where we're going to put these and make them both true at the same time. We're going to make them both true and accurate and precise at the same time. Self-determinism, as I'm putting it together, everything's made up. The determination and patterning of one's experiences based on who and what an individual decided to be prior to their conception or incarnation. So this means you had the free will to choose what determined path you were going to take. So it combines both extremes. You have hot, you have cold, they meet at warm, right? You have up and down, they meet in the middle. You have East Coast, West Coast beef, but they meet right there in the Midwest. You know what I mean? So that's how you're combining that. So that means before conception or at conception or even at your incarnation and coming into the physical, what is your reason for even manifesting in the physical? What's your whole purpose? Why are you here? These are harrowing questions, no doubt. These are the big questions. Like, does God exist? What happens after you die? Like, this is one of the big questions. Why did you come here in the first place? What are you here to do? You know, we deal with telos over here, which is Greek for purpose. You know what I'm saying? Teleology, ontoteleology, teleotes, which is something you get in your Bible, or just dealing with even Greek version of gnosis, where it deals with the teleotes, or the Christ being the finisher or the completer of what work has to be done here. So why are you here, fam? How did you get here, and why? That's what the kernel worker that I am. That's what kernel work is. We take it a step more depthically than your average root worker, because it doesn't start at the root, it starts at the seed. Both the branches of the tree, the trunk of the tree, and the roots sprout from the seed. That's why if you're a kernel worker, you are beyond and before any type of roots, branches, leaves, fruits, bark, whatever, any, as far as we can extend the tree metaphor, you know what I'm saying? So again, at your conception or before your conception, and if you want to say conception physically, where your mother's sperm, or not your mother's, that's kind of twisted. It was your mother's sperm. Well, it becomes hers. Well, not really. It's all about perspective. Your father's sperm and your mother's egg bang together. That's conception physically. But conception is just you coming up with the idea. So I don't know what level of conception you want to deal with, but we're going to deal with both concepts. So before your conception, what was your intent? Because that intent is always going to be with you in existence until you cease to exist. Did you get that? That's something that is your true driving factor throughout this whole entire existence that you live. Why the fuck are you here? Why? And also dealing with incarnation, where you could say, before you became some physical entity, what is your goal of being a physical entity? Are you just here to experience stuff and that's it? Or is there some sort of directing theme or something going on, or purpose with that? So now we deal with the protocol, which is that an event happens to a person to draw out the matching schema. So let me give you something that comes straight out of my course, uh, Inner Work Suite, which has the emotional baggage claim mini course attached to that. And it's going to be in the description section, where you can click on and actually get to purchase that and participate in this for your own well-being. So, and it teaches you this, but just one part here where we have to define what we mean by schema. So this is something I said in previous videos, but here's a more precise definition of it. A schema is a specified set of perceptual configurations, viewpoints, thought patterns, emotions, behaviors, and reflexes pre-existing within a person's being. So whatever you are, whatever you claim you are, whatever you actually are, all that, there are, within that container of what you are these schemas. So these are pre-configured. So these are the reactions you're going to give based on what happens to you, or what setting, or what type of just doing what setting, like whatever setting you're in, what do you do in that setting? So your perceptions, your viewpoints, you know what I'm saying? How you perceive the world, you know what I'm saying? Your thought patterns, emotions, behaviors, how what are you doing when this particular event happens, right? And you have a whole full set of these in your being. They're already preset. They're ready to go when it's time for them to enact. So even now, what I'm doing is part of a schema. I am behaving a certain way. I am perceiving things a certain way. I have a emotion right now. All that is one schema. So if something else were to happen right now, like something different, I would shed this schema that I'm using now to present this to you, and I would put, like, another schema would come through. I would present another schema based on what's happening. Do you get that? So let's move on to the next one. So this is a seamless and ceaseless. So seamless means there's no, nothing, in the way of you threading this thing. It's seamless, and it's ceaseless, meaning it doesn't stop. For as long as you're in existence, this flow goes. This flow is in flux. It's doing what it's doing. So this is a seamless and ceaseless flow of events that continually or continuously draw out one schema after another in a cyclical pattern, revolutions, orbits, cycles throughout the individual's life, which is a process of true education. You've heard me with this term, true education. So what have we established so far? So everything that has happened to you, what's going to happen to you, what has happened to you, what's going on now is part of this ceaseless flow of events that are used to draw out your schemas, your pre-selected schemas before you came into existence. So that means you are always acting intently on everything you do. However you react, whatever your reflex is, whatever triggers you, you are living purposefully. So that means there's really there's really no mistakes. There's nothing that happens by chance, especially with the things you do. You're not doing these things randomly. You're not doing these things by chance. It's a pattern of schemas that activate based on what's happening to you, which is a ceaseless flow of events. So we know that events change as the illusion of time goes on, and you react to things based on how they happen to you. So you go from a car crash to you winning $1 million. You have a different schema for each of these events. When you're road raging out on the highway, when some bastard cuts you off on the highway without having putting on a signal, you have a whole schema for that. You have a motion for that. You have a verbal collection of words for that are already set and inside of you, ready to go as soon as someone cuts you off in traffic. It's nothing you create on the spot. It's something that's already exists in you that is waiting for the right event, the right time, the right circumstance, and the right people for that schema to come out of you to the forefront. And this whole seamless and ceaseless flow of events is the part of the true education, because now you get to um, act on the things that have already been preset inside of you that you already chose. So it goes back to your free will to choose your determined path. So whatever your path your life is going, understand you already chose the way that that it went, or that it's going. This is a very sobering understanding, because you're drunk with physicality, you're drunk with materialism, you're drunk with whatever religion or philosophy or belief system that clouds your vision on what's being shown here. So let's continue. The experiential awareness and learning of this flow is a pathway to actual self-knowledge. God damn. And said for the individual is finally alert to the preset schemas that arise from them in an automated and often reflexive manner. So let's explain this. So experiential awareness and learning of this flow. So when you start to become aware of the patterning of the events of your life, that's a golden opportunity for you to be able to know yourself. How? Because it's drawing out the preset schemas of your being. And now you have the opportunity, golden one, not silver, golden one, to understand them and go forward with them. This is the true learning, or shall I say remembering. Because you forgot what your purpose was. You forgot what's going on. You lost sight of your purpose of even existing in the first place. But never fear, because you have a ceaseless flow of events of your life that keep trying to remind you of your purpose for existing. This is the mechanism of each and every existing thing or being in existence. I challenge you to name anything that goes outside of this principle that we're outlining right here in this video. That's my challenge to you, fam. Because I'm coming with some very strong concepts, some very, forceful, powerful concepts. And it's okay if you want to challenge them. It's okay if you want to come with a counter argument. But I'm saying it better be a powerful, forceful, and an accurate one, a precise one, because it will not stand a chance against what you see on the screen. So the individual can be finally alert of the preset schema. So now you get to become aware of how you act and respond to life's events. And through that, you know yourself. You know your schemas. You know what triggers you. You know why something is happening. I like to use this example. If I walked up to you and punched you dead in your face, dead in your snosh, dead in your nose, would you know why? Would it be a mystery to you as to why I did that to your face? 99.99999% of human beings would not know why. But for those in the know, for those that know themselves to that degree, they know exactly why I punched them in the face. You know what I'm saying? They know exactly why I broke their nose with that punch, that whammy. You know what I'm saying? Like pow. You would know why. Because now you get to understand why you get paid a certain amount of money in this part of your life and you got paid this amount. So now you know why you probably won the lottery yesterday and now you lost it all the next day. You're understanding why these things are happening to you with this level of self-knowledge. Thus, going down to this bottom bullet right here, thus the individual may fully know what their schemas are, how they are structured, what triggers them, what their origins are, kernel work, and how to modify / neutralize them. This is where hold on, we're going to get to that after I explain what I just said. So this is how you know your schemas. You know what they are. You know how they're structured, what emotions go with it, what perceptions go with it, what physical things you do when this schema is active, right? You know what triggers it, right? If you're on that level of self-knowledge, you know what their origins are, meaning you know why you have this schema in you in the first place. Because again, for example, someone cutting you off in traffic, there's a schema that you have for that. You have a set of behaviors, a set of thoughts that come with that. Usually it's anger, right? Usually it's rage that people react to when they get cut off in traffic. Or when someone's driving too slow and you can't, pass them by. You know what I'm saying? Or when dummies get into the fast lane and they should be in the slower lanes. If you're going to drive fast or slow, you should be in a slower lane. You dumbass, you know what I'm saying? So everything you say in that car where you cussing them out, you know what I'm saying? You just raging behind the wheel. That's a whole schema. So that means you getting cut off in traffic was put there intentionally to draw out that schema. So now you know why that you got cut off. Now you know why you have this particular relationship with someone. Now you know why you graduated this year and not that year. Now you know why you went to college or why you dropped out or why you never went. None of this shit is above your schema. It is subservient to your schemas. I don't care how grand the event is. Whether you climb Mount Everest or find yourself in a maximum security prison in the hole for 23 hours straight, 23-hour lockdown, you will never, it doesn't matter what it is. It's only happening to bring out something in you. That's the true education. That's what I would have you learn above all other things. No matter what subject in spirituality, in esoterica, in the occult, in metaphysics, this is what I would have you learn above all of that. Then go in and learn all that other stuff. Learn why things are happening to you. Why you got cheated on. Why you got a raise at your job yesterday, if that happened. These things are not happening randomly. They're not by chance. They're happening to bring out something in you. It's preset. You already have a preset of schemas ready to go you know what I'm saying, according to the event and the time it's supposed to. It's like a pre-scheduled thing. And to think that you, the human ego, can change that is absurd. What makes you think you, the human ego, can ever make any decision beyond what you already chosen as a being beyond human before you became it? That was a lot. Let me rephrase it. What makes you think in your human animal ego that you are making changes to something that's already preset in time, in space, determined by the being you were before you came into conception or incarnation? Because now we get to understand that, hey, ye are gods, right? So even if you go with that whole setup of you have a higher self and a lower self, right? What makes you think your lower self is making any changes or causing anything to happen? It's not. That's part of the illusion. Not only is the world in the illusion, the ego as a part of that world is an illusion as well. Especially when the ego thinks that it's doing something. Even for you that think when you do magic, you are changing things. I will have to disagree with you. Why? Because this is already preset. You were already going to do this little magical ritual, and this was already going to be the result. It was already, you already determined it with your free will. In your free will, you determine this path. Some people will never know magic. Some people deal with magic their entire life, and some people are somewhere in between. In between. But no matter where you're at on that scale, it's all been predetermined by what you chose to do. So the problem is choice. It's preference. So getting back to schemas, now you know what they are, how they are structured, how what triggers them, what their origins are, and how to, this is key, how to modify and neutralize them if you need to. So now that you know that this is how you react to someone cutting you off in traffic, is there another schema you can put in place instead of the rage? Do you have to be angry every time someone cuts you off in traffic? Do you have to be happy each time you win money? Do you have to mourn each time someone dies around you? Very harrowing questions indeed. Now, let me pop this on the screen right quick. So again, for those of you that just coming in to see this or whatever, this is the page that you want to deal with me on Instagram, because I laid that other one, Alex Will 64, to sleep. We're not going to be dealing with that one for a while. We're going to put that one to sleep. I want you to deal with this. If you want to deal, read some stuff that I post on Instagram, it'll be on this page, holographer. You know what I'm saying? So just putting that out there. So now we get into why I keep talking about discipline in previous videos, right? Discipline is a superpower, my friend. Take advantage. So this is where optimal self-control and discipline can manifest. Because now you know all your schemas. You know how they work. You know how they're structured. You know where they come from. And now you can get back into your seat of power, your throne. So now you're more consciously aware of how you get to determine things, not from your human ego self, but from your true so-called God self or higher self or whatever you're calling that. This is where the discipline is. Because without the discipline, what are you doing? You're just reacting to life's events like a human. You don't have self-control. You don't have control over your emotions. You just react. You don't question things. You just let things go by, and you live this, roller coaster of a life. And you get so attached to it that guess what? You do it all over again and again and again and again. And again and again and again and you know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of those rappers, them trap rappers. And then there's a summon, and then there's a sentiment, and then. This is why I stress discipline. This is what I'm talking about. You ain't know, but you don't know. This is what I'm talking about. This is something to strive for. Because it also brings up the whole thing about astrology. This is where the astrology can be ushered right into this discussion where, you know, if we're talking about your human ego animal or just your ego for short, we can go to your astrology chart and see some indications of, okay, what kind of ego does he have? What kind of ego does this young woman have over here? What kind? We can go to her birth chart and kind of, you know, get some indications, not causation, indication. Astrology causes nothing. It is it is a symbol set. So, for example, if you're a Scorpio or a Gemini or a Pisces, you know, my human self is a Pisces, you know what I mean? This is how we get to understand which animal and how that animal needs to be tamed. So, how do you discipline a fish? How do you discipline a baboon, which is the true animal of the Gemini? Some Geminis don't even know that because it's the whole thing with the monkey hands, curiosity. That's all Gemini. So you have to tame that monkey, you Gemini ass motherfucker. You gotta tame that monkey. Fuck you and that monkey. If you're a Taurus, you gotta learn to discipline the bull. This is a very practical use of your astrological knowledge. Let's continue. No event is ever random or happens by chance, as I've already said. They are all predicated or based upon the chosen identity of the individual, which is a container of schemas programmed to operate at pre-scheduled times throughout that individual's life in preset circumstances and settings. So that means your free will, you determined your path. So there's nothing happening to you that is by chance, randomly happening. No, it's all you are patterning everything that happened. You already patterned it. You've already determined it. So now you're just living it out. See, now there's no reason to mourn or to be sad about what happens to you. I don't have to be sorry for you. You chose all that shit. Whether you become a bum, a billionaire, and back to a bum in your lifetime, that's all you. I don't care how tragic the event was. I don't care what traumatized you as a child. You chose that shit. That was your decision to make. And you made it not on a human level, you made it on a higher level than your humanity self. So when it comes to kernel work, for example, I'm a kernel worker. This is what we get back to. We get back to the self that was before this human ego construct. Because that self is even the one that chose the type of ego you were going to have. And then higher than that, it chose to take on an ego for this physical space-time dimension. So whatever the construct of your ego is, your true self chose that. You wanted to be an arrogant prick who got millions of dollars and you a racist and you want to be into eugenics and all that. You already chose that before you got here. Just like I chose to be some, professing ass guy on Instagram with this YouTube thing and trying to, kick knowledge. Like that was a decision I made before I got here on this earth. And I'm living it out. Now, it is a question to be asked, well, why did I choose this shit? Why did I choose this pattern of events, this cycles? Why did I choose this? That's something you're going to have to answer. And I hope you do, because now you get on the true path of totality, which we'll talk about in another video. So again, whatever happens to you today or whatever happened to you today, because it can even be where you're just sitting on the couch watching TV or YouTube or something like that, or Netflix, or you just slump somewhere, you smoking weed, or you know what I'm saying, you taking a needle to your arm. It don't matter what you're doing, because that's why your Netflix and your TV is there, so that you can express this nonchalant, this laid back, you know, dead watching of, propaganda from these big wig corporations that, dish out this media. Because now that gives you a clue as to why these things are the way they are in the world. You came here to watch Netflix, my guy. You came here to watch HBO Max, my gal. My loves, my friends, my fam. This is what you came here to do. But why? Because now this even includes whoever is also with you in the event: family members, co-workers, friends, lovers, enemies. Doesn't matter. Niggas from all the way across the world that seems to do something that affects everything all the way over here. This is why whoever you meet in life, whoever you come across, is not by chance either. It was pre-scheduled. You were supposed to be with him. You were supposed to be with her. You were supposed to be with him for a year. You were supposed to be with her for 2 years. You're supposed to be with them for a lifetime, because you already chose that for yourself. It's nothing new. You act like it is, but it's not. And whatever y'all go through, y'all chose to go through it. Don't matter what it could be, your mother giving birth out of her own vagina for you to be here. Y'all both decided to do that and be a part of that scenario. So no matter how she treats you in the womb and out of the womb, she still chose to give birth to you. Because you have mothers that they give birth and they give them up for adoption, or they try to kill them. You hear the stories, throwing babies in the garbage, and Brenda's got a baby, that type of thing. That's all intentional. And that's why, on a soul level, how could I really feel sorry for you that your human self went through that tragedy? Not on a soul level, there is no tragedy for me to feel for you, or any, feelings of sorrow. What you mean? You chose that. It's part of your existence. Therefore, anything that happens to an individual is of their own design. You had the free will to choose this life design, and this is what you chose. Therefore, anything that happens to you that happens to an individual is of their own design, or at least of a design of one's choosing, because it's not even a construct that you made, but you decided to take it on. It was made for you, right? So if we get into Gnosticism, you can even start talking about Yaldabaoth or the demiurge and that type of thing, where it may have designed this stuff, but you the one that chose to go with it and identify as it or go through with it. So if your demiurge designed an event where you get jumped by the local gang across the street, you chose to get jumped. And you have to ask yourself, why would a soul want to have a life of pain? And I would answer that question with, you know, masochism goes a long way. And in case you don't know what masochism is, it's some people say it's sexual. I would say it's sexual and probably even deeper than that, or more depthical. But it's definitely an urge to suffer and go through pain. You get a thrill off of being hurt. You like pain. You like being hurt. So imagine all these women, like, not all women, but some women that come onto these social platforms, making fun of men or trying to make it seem like they're the superior. It's like it's all based off of pain that they got from dealing with some of these men around you, right? You know, it starts with the father or something like that. But anyway, you chose these guys, and they chose you. So no matter what happened between y'all, just know and understand yourself. You chose to be a part of their lives as they chose to be a part of yours before these lives ever unfurled or manifested. It's of your own design. So taking that example with the man-hating woman, she chose a life where she would get hurt by men so that she can eventually become the bitter woman that she has become. So to get to that level of bitterness, she needed to deal with these men. So her being a bitter woman was something she decided to be prior to her incarnation here. So she had an intent to be that. Because you could hit her with that counter argument of saying, well, those are the men you dealt with at that time in their lives. Especially if we're talking about younger, we're in our late teens, early 20s when a lot of heartbreak actually happens. Um, Again, you chose them the guys. So some part of you needed them to hurt you, or you wanted them to hurt you, because again, masochism, right? So again, let me reread this. Therefore, anything that happens to an individual is of their own design, or at least of a design of one's choosing, regardless if one is currently aware of it or not. Getting back into that demiurge architect Yaldabaoth from the whole Gnostic thing, right? You chose this even if this was at a near unconscious or subconscious level, because that's the true part of you making the decision. So if you want to get into the concepts of subconscious, unconscious, that whole Jungian psychology thing, and if that's how you want to see it, you're free to see it that way. But the point I'm making is that whatever that is, it was the true determiner and by its own free will of what was going to happen to you. So whether you're aware of this at the time or not, because there will be humans that go throughout their whole life and never know this information. They'll never have this knowledge. It may take them lifetimes to get this knowledge right here that you get now. My God. So the way the Christians and maybe the Muslims too, how they describe hell as a place of eternal punishment and damnation. I mean, what could be more damning and punishing than you relooping the same tragic events over and over in every lifetime you live? You keep being hurt by men every time you are coming to earth. They keep hurting you every time you come to earth. Wow. Or you keep not getting $1 million. You don't make $1 million in each of your lifetimes. You keep striving for 1 million, you never quite get it. And that keeps looping around and around and around, revolutions over and over again. Tell me that's not damning or punishing. Masochism, right? They are ultimately responsible for their life's events, no matter the age or whoever else is involved. So again, you can't put that on me that you were hurt by me in any of these lifetimes that we lived, because you decided to be a part of the event. When you're true and most authentic, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, your God self, whatever you want to call it, right? When that self gets tired of dealing with that experience, it'll end. It'll come to a stop. So there go that word ultimate, or that phrase ultimate responsibility, or being ultimately responsible. Will you, as just like me, this kernel worker, accept ultimate responsibility for your life? Will you? Will you? Will you? Because if we go to the Hindu thing, the whole thing about moksha and liberating or exonerating yourself from the cycles of time and the cycles of karma, You know what I'm saying? This is the ultimate responsibility to get yourself out of it. I can't get you out. Your mom can't get you out. None of these occult conscious community teachers can get you out. Only you can do that, fam. It's your job. How you gonna charge me with your job? You are out of line. So now that negates and neutralizes anything where you're saying, oh, well, I had a string of bad luck, or they did this to me. I'm the that type of mentality, that bull. It negates all that. Because again, as we've explored up to this point, you decided all of that. You chose that. You determined it. Because you chose to be who you are. Who you are determines what you go through. And this is something I put in here from like Mortal Kombat. I got these phrases from Mortal Kombat, actually. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I used to play Mortal Kombat and make people mad when I beat them with like Sub-Zero or something like that. But in the game, Raiden with the rice hat, you know what I'm saying? He says only you can control your destiny. And then he says not even the gods can alter your chosen path in life. So even in a video game, you can find stuff with these nuggets. You know what I'm saying? These jewels. Even in a video game. Man. Kapow. Katoosh. Pow. Boom. Like a comic book, right? Only you can control your destiny. Because you are doing that. Even if you decided, I'm going to be amnesiac about it. I'm not going to remember that I chose this bullshit that I'm in. Or this bullshit that I've went through and going through or going to go through. And not even the gods. And this word here, it depends on, what's your perception on the word or term God. Because someone who has a monotheistic outlook on existence is going to say there is no such thing as gods. There's only God. There's only one God. But obviously, this is referring to these forces out here that are part of a lot of your pantheons and mythologies, like your Greek mythology, Achad cosmology, Taoist cosmology. Each culture has one. You know what I'm saying? A cosmological set of gods or a pantheon. And these are you would call these the archetypal forces of existence. You can find this in your birth chart. So all those planets like your Jupiter, your Mars, the Sun, Moon, Mercury, and all that, Uranus, like these are all representative or symbols of these forces, archetypal forces in existence. And what is being said here at the bottom, not even the gods can alter your chosen path in life, means that the moon, the sun, the Jupiter, the Mars, they're not controlling your life. You determine their path. Those forces cannot alter that. They are going on what you already decided will go. See, this is why I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan of your Vedic astrology. Like I've studied on it, read on it, all that. However, they like to make the assumption that, or this misbelief that everything in that birth chart is determining your path. No, it's not. I beg to differ, and I'm putting up an argument that those forces that are being indicated in your chart are doing what you already told them to do. So you could be in denial all you wish or all you want, fam. Because that's a part of the plan that you chose too. People come here and choose amnesia and live amnesiac. Just like they come here to choose masochism, where they go through a life of pain and expect someone to feel sorry for them. Well, you're not getting that out of me, pal. So let's continue. Dreams. What you dream about last night? I don't care. Don't tell me. Dreams are also a part of this patterning of events, as the dream additionally serves to draw out schemas within an individual especially those schemas that barely express themselves in said individual's waking life, like in your physical life, right? So dreams are not even outside of this principle that we're talking about today. And you know, I'm a man of principles, prioritizing principle, right? So not even dreams. So now we have something that helps you understand your dreams. Yeah, your dreams are not outside of this. So even your dreams draw out your schemas, especially those again that are not you like you don't express them much in your waking life. So for example, if you do have a schema where you actually do fly in the sky, well, not in the physical, but in your dream, that is brought out. You have that schema. It's just that you don't know how to, or you have not determined that this schema is going to take place on this earth plane. It's taking place on an astral or whatever you want to call ethereal level 10, whatever the names you have for dream plane, dreamscape. This is why the interpretation of dreams, like the interpretation of physical events, is less about what happens, but more about how the individual reacts and responds to those happenings via their preset schemas. So you go online, and I've said this in previous videos. That might be a phrase on a shirt. In my previous video, I said, that could be in the back of the shirt or whatever. I've said this in previous videos. I don't interpret dreams like the rest of y'all. I don't interpret it like that. I don't go on the internet and let someone tell me the interpretation of my dream. What does the lion mean? What does it mean when I'm flying? What does it mean when my tooth fall out? What does it mean when I pee the bed? Like, you know what I'm saying? What does it mean if I saw a blue goldfish swimming in my stomach and it felt like water, but frozen? I don't need to go to you on internet on your little page to tell me what that means, because I already have a working model for what this shit means. How did I react to that thing that I saw or experienced in my dream? That's the interpretation I'm going to go with above any of your Christian, Muslim, African, Asian. I don't care. My interpretation of that is how I responded to these strange happenings and phenomena in my dream. That is why they're there. They would not be there if it wasn't for the schemas that need to activate in that dream. So in your dream, you have behaviors, thought patterns, emotions, you know what I'm saying? The things that you already are pre-programmed yourself to say. It's all in there. So that the dream becomes no different from the physical event. All is there to educate you, to draw out your schemas. What does it mean? How did you react to you doing something, I don't know, gay in your dream? Get a man to admit that. Or I don't know, I'm just thinking of scenarios that can happen in a dream. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You was the Pharaoh of Egypt in your dream. Okay, so what emotions did you feel? What did you think? How did you behave in this role in your dream as the Pharaoh of Egypt? That's why you were the Pharaoh of Egypt in your dream. So again, the dream is no different from, it's all about drawing stuff out of you. And people think their dreams are so spectacular and so frightening and so profound. No, they're not. Your dreams ain't no more spectacular than mine, fam. And mine no more spectacular than yours. So I don't need for you to tell me in my comment section or in my inbox or email, whatever, about how fucking strange and weird your dream was. Because that's not what I'm interested in when it comes to that. How did you react to what you saw or experienced in your dream? Let's go on. So this is the last one here. With all this knowledge, one can finally and properly master oneself. And once and for all, end the lostness and misfortune that spawns from a lack of self-knowledge. Y'all perish from a lack of self-knowledge. I once was perishing because I lacked self-knowledge. Here, this is where you get it. This is how you obtain it. This is how you remember it. And the way I'm using the word remember is you taking your members and putting them back together. I'm remembering. Because it's just like this. I've said this in the video. This should be on the shirt. The Humpty Dumpty, the Humpty Dumpty nursery rhyme. He was an egg ass motherfucker and he fell off the wall and broke himself into pieces. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. Some of you know what I'm about to say next. Why? Because his ass is supposed to put himself back together. So what can be drawn from that? You are not responsible for me to remember myself. I am not responsible for you to remember yourself. Whether you're my friend, enemy, lover, mother, son, daughter, father, sister, brother, it don't matter who you are to me. I'm not responsible for your destiny. I'm not responsible for you to put yourself back and remember to put yourself back together. Because it streamlines right into the concept that I have in my book, Holography, dealing with fragmentality. Your mind is in pieces. So one of the paths you can take is putting the pieces of your mind back together again, like Humpty was supposed to do, but he didn't with his fat ass. He didn't do that. Or at least that's part of the nursery rhyme that they cut on the cutting floor. Just like with the Bible, there's all those, Gospel of Thomas and, the book of Enoch, these books that didn't make it into the main Bible. You know what I'm saying? It was cut out. The Apocryphon of John, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you're into Gnosticism. So let's continue. Or where it says about lostness and misfortune. There are consequences of you lacking self-knowledge. I hope you are taking survey of them. I hope you're noticing them now. I don't care what level of spirituality you're on, what you're initiated into. You're a chaos being, a god, a titan. I don't care what you are. This still stands. And I dare you to challenge that principle. Victim mentality, I have a whole video about this, can be dissolved and one can take ultimate responsibility for their existence instead of blaming some other or others for the way that their life is going or offloading the responsibility onto said others. Just told you, no one is responsible for me remembering myself or me gaining this self-knowledge. That's all me. No one did anything to me that I didn't already commission before I came to Earth. That's why I get into the absurdities of things. You know what I'm saying? Because you're sitting here acting like you didn't choose this shit and you did. And that's what makes it funny. So it's all about getting beyond that victim mentality. You know what I'm saying? Well, not all about, but it's part of this walk. Because I was even speaking to someone, just recently, and them sitting here saying, "Well, they did this to me, and what about what they did? It don't matter. You already commissioned this event. You chose it. You were present." Because a lot of people don't want to face themselves when it comes when you present them with that information, with that knowledge. Think about the most horrible thing that has ever happened to you in your life. Now, answer this question: why were you present? Why were you involved in that? And not this person over here. Why were you there? Who are you going to blame for you being there? You going to blame your mom, your dad? When you playing a blame game about what has happened to you over the course of your life, starting back when you was a kid or a little child, little baby, like when you sit here and still hang up on that, like you still let that be a burden to you. Who you going to blame for that? Society, the Illuminati, you know what I'm saying? Illuminati, the corporations, the billionaires are doing this to me. They ain't doing that to me. They're not responsible for whatever tragedy I'm experiencing on this earth plane. Hell no. Because if I go with that mentality, that's me giving them power over me. That's me saying, oh, they control my life. No, the fuck they don't. When did that occur? Who told you this? Who told you that? What's that from? That Coming to America? Who told you that? Hold on, where I leave off on. This okay, so where the five is at. This shift from victim to victor mentality is the true mark of maturity. So it's a lot of y'all, even in this conscious thing, where you're still spiritually immature. And you think you're somehow beyond and above the average human being. And it's like, no, you're right there with them. You just have spiritual pixie dust sprinkled on you. You're in the same boat they are. You're still blaming other people and events for things that happen to you. How does you sitting here doing your magical rituals and your candle burning or making or whatever you do, it can't, or you know what I'm saying, little candle nigga, how does that separate you from the human next to you that isn't dealing with candles? Y'all both think that someone did something wrong to you. And even if they did, again, the question I would ask, why were you there for them to do that to you? Who told you that? So, the precise science of event patterning in life is a key requirement of the kernel work practice. So, I'm coming to you not as a root worker, as a kernel worker. Kernel meaning seed, Galen, Garen in Hebrew. Kernel worker. This is the precise science that comes with being the kernel worker. The individual must be willing to loose oneself from obstructions that prevent a return to the primordial state one was in before the choosing of an earthly identity and life track. So, as a kernel worker, what we do is get back to who we were before we became this human ego animal or started identifying solely as this human ego animal and the body that goes with it. Sankofa, Sankofa. We're not going back to Africa though. We're going back to who we truly are beyond this earth. Because you said you was a god, you went on along with that rhetoric. You said you was saying that out here. I heard you. I seen your post. I seen your video, my nigga. I seen you. I seen you. Get out of there. I see you. Talking about you a empress, you a queen. Of what? The fact that you're even participating in a human construct where some humans are above others is absurd. It's fallacious. It's an absurdity. It's funny to me. Y'all both on the same human level, but you think you're above this other human. Who told you that? Was it to boost your self-esteem or something? You know what I mean? What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all acting like that? Why you acting like that? But that's what you chose. You chose that. So let's bring it all the way back to the beginning. So this is what you'll find in my book. You'll find it with more, things to be explained in my book, Holography. So what I'm telling you is, how about you make that purchase today? So if you go on my website, you should be able, because I do have the option where you can just get the ebook. You can email me or message me on Instagram to get that, and I'll send you the link for that. But on my website, it's you getting the book itself, like via mail. You know what I'm saying? It being shipped to you or whatever. And then, like I said, there's a form that you fill out where you give me your address. You let me know you made the payment through like Cashapp or PayPal or whatever, and you let me know how you want it autographed, and you'll get it sent to you with the autograph. So I go even more depthical into this gift I gave you today. So hey, why you taking so long? Who told you that? So this is me coming back into this YouTube space to kind of like, profess this stuff, to declare this stuff, to let it be known so it can help you. You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comment section that you got some sort of insight or it showed you something. Let me know, because then I could keep coming out here and, maybe elaborate on one of these topics in this in more detail. You know what I'm saying? Dreams, you know what I mean? If we talk about astrology, it don't matter, because now it's in the context of what I just showed you today, this precise science of event patterning in life. You have already patterned everything that's going to happen to you based on the chosen identity. Now I'm not lost. I know why something is happening to me right now. I know why things went down the way that they did when I was a child. I now have that knowledge, and so can you. So again, my name is Alex1 or Achad. You know what I'm saying? You can go by either one. Alex Fool 64, 6 plus 4 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. So we deal with that level of arithmetic around here too. So again, thank you for watching. And I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to let you marinate, not marinate, marinate on what was just told to you today. Cheers. Greetings, folks. This is Achad. Had to cut into the video to let you know that this book here, Holography, now it's on Kindle, Amazon Kindle. So if you have the Kindle service, you can definitely check it out. There's even a longer sample for you to read, where you can really get into if you really want to know about my book or not. For me, it's more about getting the book out there rather than trying to make a sale exclusively. So but if you are one of those scholars where you want the book, you want to do some highlighting and some annotating, and you really want to tear it apart, which that's what I really want you to do, then definitely go to my website, holographer.com/the-book. You know what I'm saying? And do it that way. Either way is cool with me. And now back to the video. Who told you that?